Welcome. Today we are going to talk about using recycled fines and things that you have to grow plants in your backyard or your front yard, in your landscaping. Now, we all talk a lot about vegetable growing, which is really important. And if you live in a suburban neighborhood and you're trying to work on a little bit of suburban homesteading, we want to try to see if we can mix landscaping with edible food. So today I'm going to use a couple of things I had lying around waiting for a project and show you how we can use it in decorating the back porch, the front porch, out in the yard for dual purpose. We're going to have some pretty flowers, some nice greenery that kind of flows down, and then we're also going to grow a vegetable. Now, I've done this before with different things, and I have grown things in these pots before, but I want to show you how simple and easy it is to use recycled fines. And we'll do a couple of different things in this video. This actually is a chicken water and it originally had a piece that went over it, and it had a mechanism to hold water and let the water flow into the well. Well, that mechanism quit working, and so I had two pieces, and I thought I could use this for something, and a planter was the perfect thing to use it for. So I've used it in several different ways. I actually have two different sizes that we're going to work with today. And so we're going to start with this one. So I already have some soil in here from the last plantings I had. I took my little trowel and I broke it up and mixed it up in here and made sure it wasn't compact. It still looks good. And when we're done, we're going to add some fertilizer. So the first thing I'm going to do is think about height planting. The first thing that looks good is our pentas, which I love pentas. The butterflies love them. They bloom pretty much year round here in Central Florida. So I always know I've got something good with the pentas. So I'm going to put this one in the back. I know I'm going to break up the roots a little bit. I know it's going to grow kind of tall. I have grown these in big and small spaces before, so I know that that's going to work. Now my soil is about to here. We're going to add to it and put our plants around. Okay? Now, here comes the tricky part. Because I have been growing these bell peppers, is what they are. They're mini bell peppers. And I haven't grown these before, so I'm not exactly sure if it's going to be a full-on plant. So this is an experiment. If you haven't noticed before, all of my things that I do are an experiment to learn from. And so that's what we're doing here today. I have grown successfully in these, so I know that it can be done. And we're going to see how it works out with the vegetables. Now what I'm going to do really is I'm going to put this in next and wait to do my fragile until the end. This is called Creeping Jenny, and I discovered it a few years ago and I love it. It'll grow in shade, it'll grow in sun, and it has trails. So if I have something I really would like, a trailing vine of some kind, it's going to look great. See, so I'm giving different color. I've got a dark green, this is a light green. I'm gonna break up the root and put it down in here. And I'm gonna kind of tilt it off to the side. So we don't want to cram too many things in our container, in our recycled container. And we want to think about how it's gonna grow. This is gonna trail to wherever I move the little tendril, so I'm going to move it off to the side at first, and I'm going to put our tender bell pepper in here next. So we have the tall penta in the back, the creeping Jenny, and then we're going to put the bell pepper. And I am going to add a little bit more soil because the pepper, obviously, actually I'm going to go ahead and fill in on this side. Our pepper is small, much smaller than our other plants in here, and we want it to thrive, so I don't want to crush it before we get started. So I'm going to put the soil around and kind of make a well to put our plant down in. Now the soil is nice and loose, so the roots can climb around. I haven't mastered being able to do this standing up and getting in camera, so I have to sit down, which is kind of a pain. I like standing up better. I'll get that figured out one day. All right, so I've created a nice well down in here for the plant, okay? Now I'm gonna pick a nice one that's got, this one's got 4 leaves. I think it's ready to transplant. And I'm gonna dig it out. Keep it intact. Okay, I'm gonna keep it intact here. And then I'm going to put it down in the well that I've created for it. Okay, right there. Now I want to protect it. So I'm just going to use my hands to do this and hold on to the plant and make sure it doesn't get crushed. Pack it down because we're going to need to water. And I love the idea of mixing landscaping with food because neither one is year-round. And we do a lot of living on our back porch, and I always like to have something green. Doesn't necessarily have to be blooming, but I do like green. All right, I want to make sure that this is not underneath the handle. I like this because it has a built-in handle. I can move it around. I'm going to put it on the back porch, and if it's getting too much sun, I can move it. If it's not getting enough, I can move it. If a storm is coming, I can put it under the gazebo to protect it. So this is a wonderful way to be able to grow your food and your plants this way. Now, if you've seen our other videos, for mulching, I love to use moss. We live in Central Florida. Our trees are just overloaded with moss. It drops moss for me on a daily basis, telling me to go and plant something, so I do. And what I do is I go around the base of the plant with the moss. Now I'm going to do that with the pepper, but I'm going to be real careful because our plant is still fragile, but I want to protect it with the moss. All right. The moss gives it texture, and I think a little bit of added beauty. It also can hang down and give you that nice effect. And the moss will die. You can spritz it with a spray bottle with water, and it might last a week or two. When you do that, something just happened in the chicken coop. I know what it was. Their food fell down. Happens a lot. Anyway, we'll have to go take care of that after we do this. The moss. So if you spritz it with water, it's going to turn green. It's a beautiful, brilliant green. It is a living plant, but it only survives with the rest of the moss up in the oak trees and magnolia trees. So it will die eventually in your plant, and that just gives it more compost in there, and then you just add to it. So it's a wonderful use of something that's falling from the trees that's going to die. We're going to put it in our plants, give it beautiful texture. I love the gray against the metal and the green. It just turns out beautiful. So here we have it, our recycled find of a chicken water with a penta, creeping Jenny, and the small bite-sized bell pepper. So go find something lying around in your yard and put some plants in it. Yep, just as I suspected. The chicken food fell down. Girls, you gotta stop being so rough. All right, let's go fix it.